What we're seeing in this administration is he's taking a wrecking ball to the government. And what that means, and so that people really understand as folks are sitting here and watching, there are folks who have been fired from the federal government, and now, is our water safe, right? Is our food safe?
Are the skies safe?
Right, and the skies, right? We have to worry about getting on a plane. Is that gonna be safe?
How is this show still on the air? This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com, TatumStore.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the craziest sale of the year going out right now. It's the March Madness sale. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go on and get some of our products here. This is the new releases. Here are our best sellers. However, the sale is specifically for the sale section. 50% off of all of these sale items. You better get it today. Some of these are your fan favorites, and I want you to take advantage of it because it's not going to last long. 50% off all of the products in the sale section. All you got to do is go to Tatum Store and click on the sale section, and it will automatically be put into your cart. All right, you don't have to put a code in or nothing. As soon as you go to the cart, you buy from this section, you'll automatically get the discount. Now, if you buy from this section, you buy another item, you'll only get the discount on the item that was in the sales section. All right, like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. Let's go to Jean Pierre real quick. Let's go to Jean Pierre on the View. Let's see what this little troll got to say. Let's see. Roll the clip.
The Trump administration has made some interesting changes, including barring the Associated Press from key press areas for not using the term Gulf of America instead of Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, boy.
And they've taken over control of press pool coverage for the first time, I think, in over 100 years.
Yeah.
What is your view of what is happening, and do you have any advice for the current press secretary?
So here's the thing. The Associated Press, if you look at the Associated Press, they are the oldest wire in the press briefing room. And you think about journalists, you think about the reason they're in the press briefing room, you think about the reason they're in the pool. It's called the protective pool. There are 13 members of the pool. I'll try not to get too wonky here. And their job is to provide unbiased information to the American people because the American people deserve that. And when the White House press team decides to step in and override the White House Correspondents Association, who they have the job of doing that, then what we're looking at is state TV.
Yep.
What we're looking at is what Russia is doing. What we're looking at is what North Korea is doing. And we are doing that. They are attacking the fiber of the freedom of the press. They are destroying it because they want to be covered in a friendly way. Yeah. And look, I was in that position for 2.5 years. It is an exercise, what we did in the press briefing room, what the president did when he took questions from the press, it is an exercise of democracy. And we have to remember that when the press briefing room was televised, it's not just televised here in the United States.
Right.
It's televised globally.
A lot of people don't know that.
And right, people are wondering, other countries are wondering, what are we saying as the United States? What is it that we want to do? And it is an exercise of democracy. It is the cornerstone of democracy. The freedom of the press is the fourth estate. And we are supposed to be leading that as the most powerful country in the world.
It's called the first.
Karine, Joy has the first question, but when Stephen was leaving, she said, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. I disagree with you.
Yes, I do.
And I was curious, and so that's why I was curious.
I do, on the mandate, on Donald Trump and his administration having a mandate. And we have to be super mindful and careful of this because he does not have a mandate. And what I mean by that is if you look at the numbers, just look at the facts. He won with the smallest margin of the popular vote since the 19th century. There was no...
I'm going to let her finish. Do you know how stupid it sounds to say he won with the smallest victory? It don't matter. A Republican hadn't won in 20 years. So in order for him to even get a win in general in 20 years is incredibly impressive. And he was supposed to go to prison, and they labeled him a Nazi. They literally every day on television, they said he was Hitler. And he still won. If they were being fair, and they were covering Donald Trump like they should have, Donald Trump would have won by even crazier. But they tried to put him in prison, ruin his reputation, bankrupt his family. They did all of this, and he still won. And they tell him, it's the smallest margin. I don't give a, that's like somebody saying somebody won the Super Bowl by a field goal. You still won the Super Bowl. It don't matter how much you won by. Did you win or did you not? And he won the popular vote. Roll it.
Coattail, meaning that it is the House is at a razor thin, and he's on his way in the first 100 days to be the most unpopular president in their first 100 days.
Yeah.
That is not a mandate.
In 70 years.
In 70
The
years.
word man is in there.
Well,
That's questionable.
But I guess the question is, does it matter if he has both houses of Congress and the White House?
it does matter because right now we have, what we're seeing in this administration is he's taking a wrecking ball to the government. And what that
Good.
means, and so that people really understand as folks are sitting here and watching, there are folks who have been fired from the federal government, and now, is our water safe, right? Is our food safe?
Are the skies?
the skies?
The sky, right? And the skies, right?
Are
We
the
have to
skies
worry
safe?
about
Safe.
getting on a plane. Is that going to be safe?
Our
There's going to be a
health.
pandemic.
Is there going to be a pandemic? And not only that, folks who need their Social Security check,
Yeah.
are you going to get it?
Yeah.
I mean, that is real. And they're doing it without concern of the fallout.
Right. They
Time
don't
out.
care.
How is this show still on the air? Is our air travel safe? We just looked at the FAA firing was less than 1% of the FAA. Less than 1%. They have 50,000 employees. They only fired 400 people who were all probationary. That means that when you're in probationary, you only been on the job for about 18 months. Less than 18 months. You're on probation. That means that you haven't even passed your probationary period to be a full-time employee or to have all the full benefits. But they only fire people like that. That means they fire people with the least amount of experience, the least amount of engagement in the FAA. Before the FAA, air traffic controllers, and all of that happened in D.C. was staffing. Before Donald Trump did anything with the staffing, that was Joe Biden's staffing. And that accident could have been one person messing up. And then the thing in Canada was in Canadian airspace and Canadian air traffic controllers. And the pilots bombed the landing. They probably should have flew around instead of trying to land it and hit the ground and it flipped over and nobody died. That had nothing to do with the United States of America other than the pilots. Had nothing to do with the FAA, had nothing to do with the federal government. What other incident are y'all talking about? When Boeing's doors were falling off and flying out of the air and landing gear failing and wheels dropping off the planes, these mother didn't say nothing. They didn't say nothing was catastrophic. They didn't even criticize Boeing. But stuff that happened is unrelated to Donald Trump, they now saying, because he fired 1% of the people, all of a sudden, can we fly? Is our water safe? The fact that they would even say this on television is insane to me. These people are pushing propaganda, hate, and division. There's no way whatsoever that Donald Trump would eliminate key people and functions and systems that make sure our water is safe. But they're the same people that didn't say a mother freaking thing in California when the governor failed so bad it burnt down all these people's houses. They didn't have water, the reservoir, and all this other stuff. They don't say nothing when there's real issues of real concern. Roll it.
That is something that and look, I
I'm
understand.
pretty sure people didn't vote for those things.
Right, because
I
where's the
can't stand
economy? What happened to, we're going to bring prices down? We saw what he did with the tariffs yesterday.
Yeah.
The American people are going to be paying for that. And it's going to increase. If you look at car prices, if you could look at food prices, all of that is going to go up. And foreign countries are not paying for that. We are paying for that. It's
Are we going to be part of NATO?
Are we going to be? And look, it's a moronic policy. It is. But let's be clear. He said he was going to do that during his election.
Yeah, and he's doing it.
And this is, the strategy is chaos. It's truly chaos. But
Hold
we
on.
cannot forget.
He said he was going to be doing that during his, and the American people voted for him in a landslide. They want him to do it. These people are lying. His rating, his popularity is, wait till he do his speech tonight. He gonna kill it. These people are stupid. We are in like a $900 billion trade deficit every year. And he's just saying we're gonna strategically use tariffs in a fair game. I'll tell you how stupid these people are. And I hope they all go to hell, to be honest. I hope they all go to hell. Because they messing up this entire country. They're causing division and stuff, and they know better than what they're doing, but they're doing it anyway. These are the type of people that deserve to burn, in my opinion. They are saying that Donald Trump and his tariffs, the American people are paying for it. Well, when the other country has a tariff on us, their people are paying for it. So what are you saying? When they have a 15% tariff on American imports, their people are paying for it. But you want to make it about us. Well, if they raise a tariff, their people got to pay the higher tariff. These idiots don't even know what tariffs are all about. When Donald Trump say, well, we're going to raise the tariff, and Canada says, we're going to raise our tariff. Well, if you raise your tariff, the Canadian people who import is the one that's paying for that tariff, not the American people. The American people didn't get their tariffs raised. The Canadians did. But the strategy is not just that the people pay more. The strategy is that if it costs more to import, it'll be less imports and people will do it locally. That's why tariffs hurt other countries. Because if we put crazy amounts of tariffs on China, then therefore people will be able to buy that same product in America at the same price as China, so they'll stop going to China for the product. That's why tariffs hurt. I keep saying hate, that hurt other countries. It's not because we put a higher tariff on them and it hurts our people. That's why we do it. That's stupid. Nobody would ever do it if it just hurt our people and don't hurt them. But the tariffs bring in revenue. And if we have a tax and a revenue in the country, that's going to get us out of deficit. So if people say we pay higher prices for vehicles, how many vehicles have you bought in the last 2 years? You people don't buy cars every day. So it's not like because the car costs more money, all of a sudden you can't drive nowhere. You don't have a life no more. Gas gonna go up. No, if the car costs more incrementally, you buy a car every 5 years. It's not gonna affect you for the next 5 years if that car costs more. It's some of our groceries gonna go. Maybe we need to produce it right here in the United States of America. And all you idiots that want to give big corporations to get tax cuts, no, let them produce it in America and get them a tax cut so they can lower the price of goods and not have to pay the government. You take in the tariff, you build the treasury, give benefits to companies in America, let them have the tax burden relieved, and therefore they can lower the prices or keep the prices the same so people don't feel the burden. But there's a strategy to this. These dummies don't talk about the trade deficit. That means that in trade in all these other countries, we are negative 900 million plus. $1 billion plus. Nobody's talking about that. So how do we ever get to a point where we're profitable in international trade or global trade? But when you dumb and you have hair like that and you scissoring every night, that's why you say crazy stuff like that. Roll the clip.
Yeah, and we have to start asking the hard questions as to what is happening right now. This is a 5-alarm fire.
So
a 5-alarm fire.
Let me follow up on something else we were talking about. Yeah. And do you think the Democrats should walk out tonight?
Look, the Democrats have a couple questions that they need to ask themselves. Mm-hmm. The one is, who are they? Who are we as a party? Mm-hmm. What are we fighting for? Mm-hmm. And are we meeting the moment? Because these moments are not normal. This is not normal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have to have a sense of urgency as we move forward. And we cannot do it the way that we've had in the past. Yes. We just cannot.
That's right.
Because this is not normal.
This is not normal.
No. And it's a 5-alarm, as you say.
It is a 5-alarm fire. And if we do not act as if it is a 5-alarm fire, look, he's not just coming after vulnerable communities anymore. That was obviously something that is incredibly problematic. He's trying to make every other community outside of the vulnerable community vulnerable themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because of what he's going after and what he's doing. Because it's affecting all of us.
Everybody.
All of us.
Education.
And we care about education.
I really miss you, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
I miss you.
Give her a break.
Yeah.
These people have no method, no mission, no purpose, no tactics. They just fearmonger. That's all they do. They just fearmonger. They literally are trying to this is what they do against Donald Trump every single time. And it works to a percent. I mean, for a percentage of people. There's some people that listen there and they go, yeah. Because it feels like chaos because they're making it chaotic. If they were to support Donald Trump and say, let's see where the tariffs go, and they actually supported their own president of the United States of America instead of support Zelensky and other presidents, then the American people wouldn't feel so crazy. They literally got on television and said, this is a level 5 fire, category 5 fire, or whatever they want to call it. That means that this is the worst thing that ever happened to this country, and everything is falling apart.
Meanwhile,
when I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That's what you
Why are they doing this? Trump their plan is off simply billionaires win families.
That is the truth.
And that is the truth.
And that is the truth.
And that is the truth. I could have sworn Hamas and Israel just did a ceasefire. Is that right? Or maybe that was an old clip. I could have sworn they may have done some agreement just recently. You know, I think they're going to get to a resolution in Ukraine. This stuff don't happen through osmosis. It takes time. Our economy ain't going to somehow, because Donald Trump raised his right hand and put his hand on the Bible, that somehow the price is going to automatically come down. There's a lot of things that are in position, or a lot of things that we have to then, use tactics for to make sure that the American people are going to get what they need in totality, not just in one area. The prices of goods may go up just a little bit, but if we get more money into the Treasury, maybe, just maybe, in the next couple of years, we can lower a federal income tax burden for all people. Maybe, just maybe. Let the man do his job. Let him cook and see what he gonna do.
I can see what he's doing. I can see it, I feel it. He's cooking.
Instead of everything you say, it's category 5. Zelensky comes into America and act like a nut, and we don't think we should say nothing to him. It should have been behind closed doors. No, he should have did it behind closed doors. He wanted the shame America and giving him more money. We already gave him like $400 billion. And they gotta kidnap people to make them fight. It's just crazy to me. It's hard for me to even watch these. I want to call them the H words, but I'm not gonna do it because I am saved by the blood of Jesus.